Hello, and welcome to the Investor Guys Podcast, the ultimate podcast for serious real estate investors in the know. Join your host, Bill Barnett and Kevin Mills, as they share their expert insights, strategies, and tips to help you succeed in the world of real estate investing. Get ready to level up your investment game with the Investor Guys Podcast. And now, here are your hosts, Bill Barnett and Kevin Mills.
Hello and welcome to the Investor Guys Podcast. I'm Kevin Mills and this is my good friend, Bill Barnett. How you doing, Bill?
I'm doing good, sir. And you?
Good. Now, we've got a surprise for everybody. Normally, Bill and I tried to talk about what we're going to talk about on the show. I decided to pick a topic, and I'm not going to tell Bill what this topic is for now because he has no time. He's not able to prepare for it. He doesn't know yet.
Now, so we have a surprise for everybody, including me.
Yes. It is a topic that we've actually covered, but I want to cover a different facet of it on this show. And the reason I'm doing this is because I also want everybody to notice how quickly Bill falls into sync with all this, how quickly he shifts gears, how quickly he is able to start offering examples and experiences and everything else. And the reason is because Bill is a seasoned investor. And that's what you're already telling yourselves. Bill knows what he's doing. That is exactly my point. Bill and I are here telling you that you need to be getting started in real estate. And you have really a couple ways of doing that. You can go out on your own and get started on your own. And a lot of people do that. And a lot of people are successful that way. Okay. You will make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes and you will have successes. The other option is you can learn from someone like Bill and I or anybody else. Okay. You can learn from our mistakes so that you can try not to make them again yourselves. And you can learn from our successes so that you can duplicate them. Now, the point that I'm trying to make is Bill knows this because he has an education. Part of it is hard knocks. Part of it is because he hooked up with some people who showed him the ropes. So, Bill, what I want to talk about today is private money. But I want to talk about how it applies to some specific things. And I was going over numbers. One of our last shows, at the end, we talked about using private money for multifamily properties in Cleveland. Okay. And we can go over that scenario. In fact, you know what? Go over that scenario that you shared really quick because that plays into exactly what I wanted to cover.
All right. So one of the things that Kevin and I were yakking about, we're doing an event in Cleveland, a buyer's event. And so Kevin's got multiple properties there. I've got deals that by the time we get there will be closed. And so when you look at it, think about if I had no money whatsoever, I got nothing. Could I still do those deals? Well, one of the things that you could do is use private money to go out and the number that we use, because it makes for a very simple example, that numbers are spot on. They're not adjusted for reality. These are real numbers. However, it also happens to fit from a simplicity standpoint. It's 50,000. So what we talk about is the ability to do this. So if I'm going to take 50,000 and I'm going to go buy some duplexes, and I'm buying duplexes, and in Cleveland we can do this. We can buy them for $50,000 to $60,000.
40 to 50.
So if I'm paying 20% down on a $50,000 unit, I'm paying 10 grand down. That means I could buy 5 sets of duplexes, or I could buy 10 doors with $50,000. If I'm getting 6, 7, 800 to 800,000, 1,200. You could probably get 1,000 fairly commonly in those duplexes. So if I'm getting that, and I've got in each set of duplexes, I'm getting $1,000 a month, and I've got an underlying mortgage on those for the 40 grand. So a $50,000 purchase, I paid 10 down, I got a $40,000 mortgage. If I'm getting that mortgage anywhere in the even 7, 8 range, and highly likely you're going to be under that. But if I'm in the 7 or 8% range, that number is going to be down in the $400 or $500 area. And you can go to bankrate.com and play with the numbers there. It's what we do, bankrate.com. So now you say, well, that's great, Bill. However, where'd you get the 50 from? Well, if I had no money available whatsoever, and I went out and borrowed that 50, and I even borrowed it at an exorbitant rate, which is really not, but if I borrowed it at like a 12.5% rate, then that 12.5% is going to be on the entire 50. But remember, I've got that split between 10 different doors. So out of that $50,000, I got 40 going through duplex A and 40 of it in mortgage money. And now I've got 10,000 in duplex A that I'm paying 12.5% on. Well, it's about $180, $200 a month. So between my entire property, I've got about $550 to $650 a month. I got about roughly $100 in insurance, $100 in taxes. So I'm at about $750, $850. So let's go $850. If I've got $850 worth of outgo and I got $1,000 worth of income, I got nothing out of pocket. I'm putting in $150 a month in my pocket, and I've got an appreciating asset. And so this is money arbitrage. This is what banks, this is what the mutual funds, the guys that do investment banking, when I was in investment banking, this is what we did all the time, is money arbitrage. This is what a mutual fund is. So they'll go borrow some money at a certain promise of performance or rate, and then they'll go invest that money and make more on it, and they'll participate in some of the difference. Well, that's exactly what you and I are doing. We're arbitraging funds there.
So to go over the numbers, okay, in Cleveland, we are seeing a 50% or better annual return on investment, okay? So,
cash on cash.
Right. So he is investing $50,000, okay? Now, we have different styles of doing it, but honestly, I'm going to show you why Bill's way of doing this is superior, okay? I do leverage, and we're talking about leverage for both these situations, and I use my own cash, okay? And I'm lucky enough to be in a position to do that. But I'm going to show you why using somebody else's money is 1,000,000 times more superior, or at least 100,000 times more superior. 50% return on investment or greater. Okay, and I say 50% because it's conservative. So to use round numbers, because Bill is giving 12% to his investor. Let's say we make 52% return on our investment. Okay, so Bill, that is $15,000 that you are making every single month, or sorry, every single year. My apologies. Every single year on somebody else's money.
Yep.
Okay. Now, really quick, can you tell me
jump over to bankrate.com.
That is?
All right, so I'm sorry. I was jumping over to Bankrate on my phone so I could give exact numbers.
Sorry.
Since I was unprepared. So can I tell you what percentage?
What is, okay, so we're making 50%. Okay,
Yep.
we're going to say 52% to keep the numbers even because you're giving 12% to your investor. Okay, so we made 52%. Honestly, we'll probably make more, but let's say 52%. So you're making $15,000 a year on somebody else's money. You invested $0.
Yep.
Okay. And I've got the answer for this, but I want to see what is the percentage of return for you on that $0 invested with $15,000 per year.
932 gazillion %.
So,
it's an infinite return.
Yeah. So actually,
I got nothing out of my pocket.
So, right. So because it's impossible to do a multiplier with 0, okay, because anything multiplied by 0 is 0, but that's not going to be the case here. Let's say you put in, Bill, $1, one token dollar. I don't think anybody that's watching us doesn't have $1 that they could put in. So what is $15,000 per year return on your $1 investment? It is a
15,000%.
15,000%. And that is why this way of doing it is superior. Bill and I are both putting similar amounts of money into our pocket every single year. But Bill's return on investment is thousands of times higher than mine if I'm using my own money. And that is why private money is the superior way to go with your real estate investment.
Awaken your potential and harness the strengths of your inner self. Online courses that you complete at your own pace. Set and achieve all of your goals. Packed with an ever-growing catalog of information, resources, learning programs, weekly recorded coaching sessions, podcast, posts and more to keep you on track for your best life. Because the only person who can guarantee your success is you. www.reallykevin.com.
You are watching the Investor Guys podcast.
Live the resort lifestyle every day with Cayman K. The perfect pieces for every wardrobe. Shop the entire Cayman K collection and find your favorites. Find all our styles at CaymanK.com.
Absolution X. Lifestyle apparel like no other. Limited editions. Unique, exclusive designs. Seek your absolution. Get yours. Only at absolutionx.com.
And that's why I always stress to folks to look at private money. Because you can get a better rate of return and because you don't limit yourself, because anytime we're using our own funds, at some point, somewhere, no matter how much cash you have, at some point you're going to run out of your cash. And if you have private money, you never run out of private money. We can't spend that much. So it makes it so I've got no limits on my business whatsoever. It's just, how much do I actually want to go out and do? I can put the private funds together to do that. And, I typically am putting together $200,000-300,000 a month in private money between what I use personally and what I use with my clients, with my consulting clients. And most of that money might be in addition to a mortgage that we're dealing with on a property, so that you get a massive amount of leverage. That's the amazing thing about real estate. There is not a vehicle out there that you get the leverage that we get in real estate, whether it's commercial, multifamily, single, doesn't matter. The leverage aspect of real estate is, in my opinion, the sole separator from a value standpoint as an investor, what it brings to the table. Mobile homes, self-storage units, leverage is amazing. Private money takes that leverage and just explodes it to where you're just going, oh my gosh, if I'm using private money to do this, how much do I want to do? I have no limit on my business. And that's the thing we want to get you guys to understand. And then we just start picking pockets out of where do we want to do business. So first pocket we're going to go in is Cleveland. We're going to do Texas. We're going to do Orlando. We're going to do some other parts too. Kevin, we'll probably end up in Vegas at some time, just from
and you know what?
standpoint.
I do an alumni meeting every year, okay, where we have everybody just get together and have fun. We've done it on cruises before, but I was thinking Vegas, maybe not this time around because of coronavirus, but maybe next time around we should do a alumni get together in Vegas. But I have a question for you, okay? And this is actually a two-part question. And I know I keep slamming you with things that we didn't talk about, but
all right.
And that's what I want everybody to see. So if you can get $50,000, you could probably get $100,000 pretty easily as well, right?
Sure.
And
may not be from the same source, but certainly.
Total of $100,000. Do you think, in your experience, your thought process, is it that difficult for somebody first getting started, okay, within a couple of months to be able to find investors to put together, say, $100,000?
No. Okay. And I'll give you a perfect example here. Since we're talking about Vegas, Rob and Nancy Fain, who are two of my favorite people in the whole world, Rob and Nancy, it's a mother-son team. It's not a husband and wife.
You're going to bring up Marshall because we were just talking about Marshall. And Marshall's from this too.
So it's a mother-son team, and his wife is a pastry chef in Vegas and just absolutely amazing. And his dad has no interest in real estate at all. So he and his mom got together and became partners. And when they started the business, they had no cash. And I said, I can teach you how to do that. And they started going out trying to raise private money, using exactly the method that I taught them, using the solid gold money script. And Nancy got a little frustrated after a couple months because they had not raised any money. And she said, this doesn't work. That's the Nancy. Just, you got to talk to everybody you know. I've talked to everybody. Well, then you got to talk to people you don't know. I've talked to everybody. I'm like, all right, just hang with me. Trust the process. Well, it was about 2-3 weeks later, she called me back, and she was so excited. I couldn't tell if she was happy or mad because I couldn't understand a word that she was saying whatsoever. And they had just gotten funded for $500,000 for a private investor. Their business completely exploded, and they were waiting. It had happened a couple of days prior, but they were waiting for the funds to hit the bank before they called me, just because they were like, well, this could fall apart, till the money, that's the way I am. Till the money hit the bank, it's all conversation.
It's not real until it's real.
Yep. And so the money had hit, and she called, and they were just blown away. And their business took off, and they did 42, 43 flips in the next 12 months. And they've had a year, they hit 60. So they've just been rocking and rolling ever since then, several years ago. But anybody can raise private money if you have a system to follow. And we do this all the time. It's not rocket science. It's a process. You learn the process. It's a recipe. It's no different. Every person out there probably has cooked something at some point in their life. It's just a recipe. I've had a friend of mine provide me the recipe for what I refer to as hot blonde taco soup. It's really taco soup, but I call it hot blonde because that's the person that gave me the recipe. So when you follow the recipe, the very first time I did it, it turned out just as good as when she introduced it to me by cooking it for me. And that's the process of recipe. That's all this is. That's all what we teach.
Duplication.
It's a system. It's a duplicatable system. It's a recipe. It's a formula. Whatever works for you, they're all the same. It is whether you're using system, recipe, formula, all those are the same. It's the process that you go through. And if you take the step by step, you're going to have successful results. That's why we're doing a buying event, not doing just a seminar. That's why we want to be there so that you get property bought. You stop doing events and start doing property, which that is.
Thank you for watching the Investor Guys podcast.
The Investor Guys podcast will be back shortly.
Absolution X. Limited editions. Lifestyle apparel like none other. Get yours today at absolutionx.com.
Live the resort lifestyle every day with Cayman K. The perfect pieces for every wardrobe. Shop the entire Cayman K collection and find your favorites. Find all our styles at caymank.com.
reallykevin.com. Weekly recorded coaching sessions. Learn, grow, find resources, opportunities and more. You'll find it all at reallykevin.com.
Yeah. And to rewind just a minute, okay? We're talking about duplication, and I know you guys are all, because this is the underlying theme of this. Everybody's like, well, Bill is a seasoned investor. Bill has these connections. Bill's this, Bill's that. Put this into perspective for you, okay? If you wanted to come up with $100,000, how difficult would it be to find just 10 people with just $10,000 to invest? Most people have that much or more in their IRA or their savings. Okay.
Yeah.
They can invest that money with other individuals. Be careful how you do that because you can't pool funds. Okay. But you can put that into an LLC, and each of them are still getting 12% on their $10,000. The numbers still work. So what I really wanted to stress was, Bill, on $100,000, if you're making $30,000 a year, tax-free in your pocket, okay, every single year, what is your percentage of return?
So if did I put the 100 up, or am I using borrowed funds?
You put $1 up.
I'm putting $1, so I'm getting a 30,000% return.
30,000% return on someone else's money.
Every year.
Every year, exactly. And Bill, we're not even including in that number the equity that is being built up in those properties. We're talking about an equal or greater amount of equity that is growing in that property every single year on somebody else's money. Okay?
And remember, when that equity is building up, that equity is your equity.
Correct.
That's
You're
not a
giving them
split
12%
deal.
of the equity.
Yeah, that's your equity. You're paying for the interest on the funds. And a lot of people get sideways on trying to figure this out when they make it a lot more complicated than it is. Look, when you go to somebody and you're offering them 12.5% on their funds, you can have the real estate as the security for that. But as long as you're making the payments and as long as you have funds coming in, you're certainly going to be able to do that. It's a self-liquidating note, which is the type of note that you want to have. And it's a note that's secured by the real estate. It doesn't have to be secured by you. And they being the person that lends you the money, they are Bank of America. They are Chase. They are whatever lending institution you want to think. That's who they are, but it's a person instead of an institution. And because of that, they have a rate that they're getting, a good rate. They have a secure rate, and they have no ownership in the property. That equity buildup is 100% yours.
Right. And you can start investing, and this is something that we cover in the buyer's event. You can invest that 30,000% back into the exact same strategies that you're already using. And you will be amazed at how fast you can become a millionaire on somebody else's money. Using the $50,000 benchmark, okay, you could be a millionaire at that 30,000%, okay, off the top of my head, I think it's about 12 years, 13 years, okay. If you're getting closer to 75%, which we should be able to get in Cleveland, even faster. The beauty of it is, who doesn't have $0 to invest right now? How hard is it for you to go out and start talking to people and finding people who want to invest in a money-making venture that is going to make you money and isn't going to cost you anything other than your time and your effort? Now, we've got, what's that?
And your knowledge.
Yeah, that's powerful. I mean,
that's why you're here.
Yeah, that is powerful. We have an event coming up in Dallas. It's on the website. That's beautiful there. We have an event coming up in Dallas. That's on the website. We have the buyer's event coming up in Cleveland in August. That's on the website. And then we have an event in Orlando in September. That's just an event. Cleveland, we will spend 4 days. We'll spend 3 days in the classroom. And as a group, we will go over properties that are available on the MLS in Cleveland. We will go over the numbers. We will go over everything. We will have real estate agent come in and talk to you specifically that you can work with in Cleveland. I've got money people in Cleveland who work just with investors. I have property managers in Cleveland who work with just investors. Now, not only are they going to come in and tell you what they can do for you, they're going to answer your questions. They want to tell you why you need to be investing in Cleveland. They're going to answer questions that you have. These are people who I've known for decades, and they will shoot straight with you. They will tell you exactly the pitfalls and exactly the benefits of investing in Cleveland. We will go over the history. We will go over the strategies that you need to use, what types of tenants you want, what neighborhoods you want to go into, what neighborhoods you want to stay out of. On day 4, we are all going to pile into a bus or a couple of buses, depending upon what's going on with coronavirus at that point. And we are going to go out and we are going to look at properties that you, as participants in the event, have selected. We're actually going to go out, put boots on those properties with a real estate agent. And if any of them fit the criteria, your specific criteria that you're looking for, make an offer on it right then and there with that real estate agent. We're also going to show you how you can do this from anywhere in the world, okay? I don't live in Cleveland. I grew up in that area and I'm back and forth, but most of the times when I'm purchasing properties in Cleveland, I was in California, I'm in Florida. I don't live in Cleveland. I do it from my computer and you can do the same. And I'm going to show you how to do that. It is really as easy as being there, getting things set up, getting your team set up on the ground. And I'm even going to give you team members. You don't have to use my team members, but I'm going to tell you what to look for in team members so that you can pick your own team members. But I'm going to give you team members that you can use until you find your own team members, or that you can use just to solution to this microphone here, or I need to gesticulate less.
You'll get used to it.
It's
that's a new prop. So you'll get used to it.
It's unfortunately, it's not a prop. It's probably pretty loud whenever the thing falls down. We're going to set you up for success, long and short of it. Okay. This isn't just us preaching at you, giving you pieces of paper with writing on it that says this is what you need to do. Okay. This is going to be interactive. You're going to be there with your computer, with your tablet. We're going to go over actual properties. We're going to go over actual numbers. You're going to be meeting actual people. Every evening, and Bill, I was telling you about this, every evening we have a social event set up, okay? So we finish up with class around 5 o'clock, around 6:30, we meet at a local restaurant or comedy club or something in the city of Cleveland. And it's an opportunity for you to kind of unwind a little bit, network with your fellow students. A lot of times the people who come in and speak to the class will also come in and just hang out with us. But it also gives you a flavor for the city. You get to see the city. You get to meet other people from the city of Cleveland. You get a feel for it. I have had students, Bill, that moved from California or wherever they happen to be to Cleveland because they liked Cleveland that much. Not just investing in Cleveland, they liked Cleveland that much. I've had the same thing happen for Dallas. I have students living in Dallas because they started buying in Dallas and liked Dallas enough that they wanted to relocate there. You guys will be surprised how much you like Cleveland, but you're going to love Cleveland because of the investment opportunities. And before this sounds too much more like a pitch, okay, if you're interested in joining us in Cleveland, we only have 20 spaces because of coronavirus. Normally, we only do 20 or 30 anyway because we all have to be able to fit onto buses. The sooner you register, the sooner you can be sure of having a spot in this course. It is in August. All the information is on the website. You can sign up right then and there. We will also cover, and this is very important, private money, okay? And I am also working on some angel investors, a list of angel investors that are interested in getting that 12% return on their investment. And I'm sure Bill may have a few that he could also chip in as well. Because
I'll show you a crazy simple way to find the exact kind of people that we're looking for because they've already done this once before, twice before, 3 times before. And most of the time, the overwhelming majority of time, once somebody is used to getting a nice rate of return and having it secured by real estate, they'd rather do that than most any other type of investing. So there's a lot of opportunity out there. We're going to show you how to do that. And then this is experiential. I think that's the thing we were getting at earlier, is this is not just a classroom setting. This is experiential. So we're going to teach in the classroom, then we're going to get out and get into property so you can see with us there holding your hand, here is that in real life. Here's how that translates. This is what these houses, these duplexes, triplexes, quads look like. This is the neighborhood. Get in and walk them so you get to see what needs to be done to them, so that we can make offers on those properties if they fit. And we're going to guide you into making sure that they are properties that fit. And look, I've done this before where we've been out on buying trips and people get a little skittish, well, because they were inexperienced. And I just said, okay, well, then I'm going to buy it. And they're like, what? I'm like, if you're not buying it, I'm buying it. It's okay if you don't want to buy it. That's okay. That's your loss, but I'm buying it. It's not that it's not a great property. It's that you don't have the experience that we do. So there may be some of that goes on, but you're going
to. There are people who just want to sit and watch the process, and everybody's different. And we've got people who literally, they come with their checkbook and they can't wait to write a check. Okay. And it's your own comfort level. We're not going to push you to do anything you don't want to do. But here's the thing, knowing what you need to do and knowing how to do it are going to be huge for when you are ready to do that. When you get home and you say, you know what, I really should have bought that property. That property may be gone, but that's okay, because there are other properties that are going to be the same, and you are going to know how and where to find those properties, and you're going to know who can make an offer on that property for you. You're going to know who can manage that property for you. You're going to know who can help you with financing on that property for you. You're going to have all those pieces in place. So whether or not you actually buy at this event or not, that's up to you. Okay. But you're going to have everything you need to have to be able to buy at this event, or to buy in the future. For everybody else who wants to continue to buy in Cleveland, you will have those tools, you'll have that ability. And that's what sets this apart from what a lot of other people are doing with just a classroom where they spend 2 days talking to you and talking at you and you're done. This is something, coronavirus notwithstanding, where I want you guys to be able to network with the other people who are in this event. Every time I do one of these events, and this may be the one time that I don't really put out a big invitation, every time I do one of these events, I invite past students to come back, okay? Anytime you take one of these events, you're an alumni, and you are welcome to join me at any other time we come back to Cleveland, because my past students, they like coming to Cleveland. They like looking at their investments. They like being hands-on for more investments, but they also like meeting new people, and they can share their experiences and their stories with you. And they also are looking for people to network with. And these are perfect people for new investors to start networking with as well. So this is what I want for these events. I want you to be able to build a network of peers. I want you to build a network of team members, and I want you to start building your portfolio and building your wealth, your cash flow every single month, every single year. And that's what these events are about.
Absolutely. And look, we're all brand new at some point in our life. There was a time that Kevin did his first deal. There was a time I did my first deal. And so no matter where you're starting from, we all started there at some point. And so you can have a confidence that we're not going to let you make a misstep. And in knowing that this is the right way to go, and having somebody look over your shoulder and hold your hand, you can do that with confidence. And that's what we want you to be able to do so that you can be successful. That's important to us. This country needs you to be successful. We've got to get this economy rolling again, and real estate is the key to this economy. It's the key to the economy always. If you look at, sometimes we sit down and we'll draw out the real estate, just a house, and say, all right, let's figure out how many industries this impacts. Well, a house impacts hundreds and hundreds of workers, every single house, and 20, 30 different industries that employ thousands and thousands of people. And it is a huge part of the market. And that's what we want to do, is help you be a part of getting this thing rocking and rolling again so that everybody benefits. And look, everybody's got to live somewhere. It might as well be in one of our properties.
Right. They may as well be paying you to do it.
You are watching the Investor Guys podcast.
The Investor Guys podcast will be back shortly.
Absolution X. Lifestyle apparel like no other. Only at absolutionx.com. Get yours.
Live the resort lifestyle every day with Cayman K. The perfect pieces for every wardrobe. Shop the entire Cayman K collection and find your favorites. Find all our styles at caymank.com.
Get ready for power, for success, for solutions and answers. It's all in one place, www.reallykevin.com. Education, opportunities, coaching, and so much more.
And here's the other thing too is, and you've heard this before, more wealth has been created through real estate than by any other investment. More people have gotten rich by investing in real estate and owning real estate than in any other investment, period. End of story. Yeah, you've got people like Jeff Bezos who made millions of dollars. You've got Bill Gates. You've got other people who made millions of dollars doing something else. And then they turn around, and Bill knows the answer to this source. They buy real estate with it because that secures their money, for one, and it also grows their money. So people who are making millions of dollars on anything else are putting their money into real estate. This is key for wealth building, is understanding which strategies are going to give you the best, most effective return on your investment. And I don't know who else is on Instagram. Bill, I don't know if you are or not. I don't remember, but I am so over seeing people coming up with Bitcoin platforms and Bitcoin this and Bitcoin that, and telling me that they
I got pitched Bitcoin again today.
Bitcoin isn't tangible. I can't go and hold my Bitcoins in my hand. Okay. It's in some magical Bitcoin vault that doesn't really exist, because all it is a number that somebody could hack into and take anyway. And the returns on Bitcoin, even if you want to say that they're real, because you can cash in on that. That's money you can put into your pocket. The returns on Bitcoin are basically based on magical numbers that exist only on the internet. That's it. Nowhere else. Okay. So if you've been considering Bitcoin or Forex or anything else, look at the numbers. I promise you, long term, even just over the course of a year, real estate is a better performer.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter what your interest is from an investing standpoint, whether it's Bitcoin or whether it's penny stocks or whether it's gold and silver or whatever. Yeah, I have friends that here in Texas, I have friends that invest every penny they have and every penny they can get a hold of in horses. And, you know, that's their thing. That's okay. From a dollar standpoint, pales by comparison. Yeah. And that's the thing. We'll show you how to take a look at and run the numbers on these things so that you understand what the return is. And when I look at the rate of return, and I can go out, especially when we're talking about private money, and I can go out and get a 30,000% return in 1 year, you know, where am I going to get that somewhere else? You got to win the lottery to have numbers that are better than that. So make sure that you just take the time to learn these things so that you can take a look at, does this make sense for me? Do I have the temperament for it? I can assure you, you've got the mental capacity for it, because once you see it, and Kevin's heard me say this 100 times, this is a very simple, straightforward business. I didn't say it was easy. I said it was simple and straightforward. Now, after you've done a few deals, you're going to, and I get students to do this all the time, they'll pull me aside and go, but it really is easy. Like, it is, but you got to get there. But it is very straightforward. It is very simple to understand. And when you have the process, you play by the rules and you benefit. And you benefit extremely nicely. And that's what we're going to teach you how to do, and take you out and go do it together.
Yeah, it really is. It's by the numbers. And everybody's seen the movie The Matrix, and I always compare it to that. It's like when Neo finally gets it, okay? And he can literally see. He can see that the code, he can see everything, and it's right there. When you get it, it is exactly like that, okay? Another thing I see on Instagram, because I'm on a lot of the real estate Instagrams, is people pushing leads, list, this, that. If you ever bought a list of leads for real estate for, not foreclosures, because we've all done that, but for house flips or rehabs or anything else, have you bought any of those lists?
I have in the past, yeah. I don't buy any.
I honestly have never bought any of those lists because it is not hard to find those properties for yourself. Yeah. I literally have a pen and paper in each one of my cars. When I drive past a property that gets my interest, if I don't have the time, I write down the address. Yesterday, I was actually sneaking around on a giant property. It's a resort that is closed down here in Orlando. Had no trespassing signs posted all over the place. So wanted to make sure I didn't get shot or go to jail, but I was sneaking around taking a look at it, and I did some research on it, and I found out that the county, this is a half a mile away from Disney too, by the way. The county has been trying to get someone to buy this property for the last 7 years because it's just been sitting vacant. The county has put together an incentive package that they will tailor to a specific buyer based upon what they want to do with the property. It used to be a resort. All of the hotel rooms and everything are all there. It hasn't been vandalized. It still has the beds and the TVs and everything else all locked up into the rooms. There's also a convention center there. There's pools, hot tubs, water slides, all kinds of other things. And the county wants to work with somebody to motivate them to come in, to give them tax incentives and everything else so that they will come in. I actually made a phone call to the county. They said they would actually shortlist things like demolition requests, construction requests, everything. All you have to do is get out and do a little bit of legwork. I didn't get that on a list. I saw it. It caught my interest. I bought 6 houses in Daytona a couple months ago. They weren't on a list. I just happened to be in Daytona. I saw them. I wrote down the addresses. I did a little bit of research. My point is it is that easy. It is absolutely that easy. And if you are not finding properties driving around, you can go to the MLS. Anybody can access the MLS through common sites like realtor.com. This is a no-brainer, make you millions, easy investment strategy, especially if you're using somebody else's money.
Realtor.com is the public side of the National Association of Realtors website. And the great thing about Realtor.com is you can look at property anywhere in the country.
Yeah.
So you got a zip code, you can put a city in, you can put a zip code in, you can be anywhere in the country. And when property is in the MLS, you can access it through Realtor.com. It is a great site for what you and I do. And so Kevin and I will show you how to use that. It's a simple process. I'd suggest you get on there and start poking around now. It is a great asset for you and I to be able to access properties. And then you start searching and I just want to look at duplexes. I want to look at quads. Now we like duplexes, trips and quads because you can buy them on a single family contract, and it's just an ease of management process there. It doesn't mean that multifamily is not fabulous. It just means that this is where our particular interest and taste lie. And from a standpoint of how easy they are to do, that's where we're going to play.
Yeah. And it really is that easy. And that's what we keep trying to get across. And take the class, or take somebody's class who's legitimate and who's honest and who's going to give you a real education. Okay. And that's going to help you with this information. It's going to help you with the resources. It's going to help you learn what is successful and what isn't, so that you can duplicate what works and stay away from what doesn't. And I really don't know what else to say about this topic. I think we've kind of played it all out for now.
I think we have. I didn't start our clock like I was supposed to, so I don't know how long.
I don't even know what time we started, but you know what? I don't care, because we had fun. So
yeah, I think we're probably about a half hour, maybe a little bit over. So
I'll know when we stop it, when we see how long it was recorded. But
there you go.
Thank you for joining us for the Investor Guys podcast. If you have any questions for Bill or for I, you can send them to contact@investorguyspodcast.com. Bill is also bill@investorguyspodcast.com, kevin@investorguyspodcast.com. If you're interested in anything else, Investor Guys related, okay, or to sign up for any of these upcoming real estate events or the real estate buyers event in Cleveland, investorguyspodcast.com, investorguyspodcast.com. At the very top, you will see a link for Dallas, for Cleveland, and for Orlando. Check them all out. Get signed up as quickly as you can, because with coronavirus, we are keeping class sizes to 20. That means they will fill up fast. Look forward to seeing all of you again next time we are here, and absolutely in Cleveland, Dallas, and Orlando. Bill, I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.
You too. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for being on today. See you now.
Thank you for tuning in to the Investor Guys podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe and stay updated on the latest trends and insights in the world of real estate investing. Also, don't forget to check us out and see all of our episodes at theinvestorguyspodcast.com. Email us, contact@investorguyspodcast.com. Remember, the key to financial success lies in staying informed and taking action. Stay tuned for our next episode, and until then, happy investing.